guys, I'm Desikan and today's video is going to be a comparison video. It's been quite some time since I actually made a comparison video. So today's video is going to be a comparison on the Pac Studio Derma concealer with the Kryolan Dermacolor Camouflage Creme concealer. Now the Pac concealer, I got this one in the shade number 5 BFD. Now this was a wild guess that I took. I didn't go to their store and pick it up. I should have done that, but I just took a wild guess and bought it online, and I feel like I did a pretty good job. It was a pretty good match for my skin tone. This is what I have on this side of my face, underneath my eyes, and to cover up the pigmentation around this part of my mouth. Now this concealer retails for 745 rupees and you get 30 grams of product. That is about 1 fluid ounce of product in this. Now the Kryolan Dermacolor Camouflage Creme, I got this one in the shade DFD. They have different shade options. Like the shade selection in Kryolan is way better than Pac. Pac has only about like 5 or 7 shades. So if you're about like an NC 43 to 45 in MAC, you can find a shade for yourself. But in Kryolan, they have a wide variety of color selection and different undertones as well. So you get your usual pink undertones, you get your neutral undertones, you get your warm golden undertones. Also there are like different color correctors in this as well. I think they have like a yellow color corrector, orange and red and stuff like that. So I remember seeing it when I visited the store. So if you are in Bangalore, you can find the Kryolan store at Indranagar. So I went in person and got this, and I felt like they had different color selections and stuff like that, but the sales assistants were not good enough in guiding me to get my product. They were a little too cold and rigid is what I felt. The overall atmosphere in the store was not that good. If you're someone who doesn't like visiting stores like this, of course Kryolan has an online store where you can go ahead and place your order. They do have, I think, COD and prepaid options as well, but COD of course you have to pay extra. And choosing a shade would be a difficult task because they don't have description of anything. It's just numbers of everything. So in case you have a store, you might want to visit there and get yourself shade matched, because it's really confusing to find it online. Anyways, getting to the product itself. So this one comes in this tiny jar. As you guys can see, the size comparison of these two, like look at that. That's how much product you get in this. And in this one you get just 4 grams of product. That is 0.14 fluid ounces, whereas in this you get 30 grams of product. They do have a smaller sample size, like a pan size of this as well, that you can get it for about 200 or 300 rupees. And I think the bigger size of this, where you get 30 grams of product, and that retails for 1,600 rupees. So there's a big price difference. It's almost twice the price of the Pac concealer to get the exact same size. And this product is made in Germany, whereas Pac is made in China, and that could be the reason why it's more affordable. Now coming to the application process of these concealers, because these are pot concealers, you have to warm them up pretty much to get that even application. So you can use like a flat concealer brush like the one I used today. This one is from Pro Art, and this one is PF01. So this is like a pointed concealer brush that I actually use for cut crease, but this was really nice to pick up the product, and first I applied it with a brush and then I went ahead and blended it out with a beauty blender. You can't pick up too much product with a beauty blender with a pot concealer like this. So I would recommend like taking any foundation brush, like a flat foundation brush or anything of that sort. Pick up as much product as you want, apply it, and then blend it out with your finger or with your sponge. I usually like using a sponge because I find that blending this one out with a finger kind of leaves that fingerprint on the skin, and it's really kind of hard to get rid of that. On the right side of my face, I used the Pac concealer and I picked up the product. I found that the undertone of this was so beautiful. It had some warm yellow undertones to it, so it matched my skin pretty well. I like my concealer not to be very light because I don't want to highlight the dark circles or anything of the sort. So I just want to conceal everything. So I just picked it up with that brush, blended it out with a sponge. Now as you guys can see, I had to pick up the product multiple times from the pot to get the coverage that I want. That usually happens with any pot concealer or anything of that sort. You won't get that application like you get with a liquid concealer, where you just apply like one stripe and then blend it out and you get beautiful coverage. You have to build up the coverage of most of the pot concealers, and once I did that, I found that I could cover up everything, even the color corrector underneath it. It was not peeking through or anything of that sort, and it blended out beautifully. The blending process of this one was amazing. It blends out so well. The undertone is perfect. Again, to conceal around my mouth, it was so good using this product. It is pretty creamy as compared to this one. This one, on the other hand, even with this flat brush, I was not able to pick up as much product, so I had to use my fingers. I had to use a sponge. I tried to build it up as much as I could, and I kind of applied the same amount of product on both the sides. And from what I can see and how I'm looking at my skin, and I really like how this side of my face looks with this concealer. I feel like the coverage this one gives is so nice, and it blends beautifully. It's so even, it's so flawless. I'm not saying that this is bad. This is equally really good, but first of all, the undertone of this is a little bit off. She suggested this one because I asked for something that has a warm undertone to it and something that has a lot more yellow to it, and this one was as yellow as it could get for my skin tone. I was not able to find the right shade. That could be probably because this product is made in Europe, and their skin tone is a lot different compared to ours. That was one thing that I was noticing, and then I had to pick up a lot of product to apply it on the left side of my face, and it's not giving me as much coverage as the right side of my face. It is pretty good after I built it up so much, but it was not very creamy and not very blendable, and also not giving me the right coverage. So as you guys can see from the demo, and also I'm going to insert a close-up of my face, you guys can see that the right side of my face looks so much more smoother, so much more even, and the coverage on this side is amazing. Whereas on this side I do have coverage. It does look really good. It's not the best. And also, not to forget, I haven't set my under eyes on both the sides. That is one thing that I've noticed with these pot concealers, that the minute you set it with a powder is when it also gets really cakey. It starts breaking apart. It starts to split underneath my eyes. So usually with these kind of pot concealers, I don't prefer setting my under eyes and not setting anywhere where I've applied this concealer, and that way I get a beautiful finish with this. And it's so even. It's not creasing even a bit. Even though it's so creamy, it's not creasing underneath my eyes at all. It's so smooth, and it's been a while since I've applied this, almost about an hour or so, and there's no signs of it fading away at all. So that way I really like the Pac concealer way more than this one, because on this side I can see that it's sort of creasing a little bit and it's not very smooth and even. So when you compare the price and how much you pay for this and all that, I feel like the Pac concealer is so much better because you pay lesser, you get the performance ultimately. It's more creamy, it's more blendable, and it's beautiful. So it's something that everybody can use even on the go. So if you want to use it on a daily basis, you still can use it, especially like to spot conceal, and it looks like skin. It's not cakey, it doesn't kick up underneath the eyes. So if you have normal to oily skin, I think you would really like this kind of a concealer. If you have dry skin, I'm not sure how these kind of pot concealers work out on that skin type. I think it can tend to kick up and build up and cling onto dry patches, and you won't get that even application. But I have friends who have oily skin who love and swear by this concealer and use it on a daily basis, and the only thing that this one fares better compared to this is the shade range. If you are like very deep and you are a makeup artist who's looking to use this on clients, I don't think you would find very good shade options in the Pac concealer, and only in that way I think you would really like the Kryolan concealer, because there are different options for you to build your own kit, customize your own kit, choose different shades for different skin tones, and that way it really works very well for you. So it's just my personal preference. It's not like this is a bad product at all. It's actually faring pretty good, but when I'm reviewing it, I have to look at it like in depth and pick on even the little things. Probably if you're just a regular consumer, you wouldn't think so much about any product, but because I'm here to review it and tell you guys like even the minor details, I feel like minutely when you compare everything, this one fares so much better than this. So again, I feel like there are more Pac stores than Kryolan stores, and you can find Pac on Nykaa, on Amazon, and it's a little more easily available. So in terms of availability, in terms of price range, in terms of performance, I would say go with the Pac concealer over the Kryolan concealer. And in terms of longevity, I feel like both of this lasts a decent amount of time on my skin. It doesn't fade away easily. It can stay put for almost about like 3 to 4 hours, after which if you come really close and if you're going to look really close, you can see a little bit of like fading and something is going to split a little bit, but that's not too much. And with most of my liquid concealers, I don't get that like how I get it with these spot concealers, and it's so much more easier to use as well. Do check the Pac concealer out. It's not going to be a huge hole in your pocket, and I think this would last you for almost like 2 years, even if you use it every single day, because you need very little amount of it if you're going to be spot concealing on your face and around your mouth and stuff like that. Just for your under eyes, depending on the pigmentation you have, depending on the darkness of it, you might have to use a little more product than usual. That's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. So don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.